Our depth at offensive line, we've created we're going in there and there's some discussions on who those 5 guys would be. I think the last few years it's, praying that those 5 or 6 guys stay healthy, and then there's not, the competition to play at the level that you have to play in the Missouri Valley Conference.
That was Coach Hill. After the final scrimmage of fall camp, the offensive line was an area of focus throughout this fall. And as Dan Clark heads into year 2 in Carbondale with this group, he sees the strides as well.
A lot of those guys have been with me for 2 years now. And so the expectations, the routines, the fundamentals, the things that are echoed in, a culture in an O-line room, and, those things are, they're heard right now. The expectations and what, I expect them to do, the calls and working together, and, that's important when, the movement or the development of an offensive lineman is talked about. And, I think that's the biggest thing. They've been around me a lot. They know what the expectations are. They know where they want this program to be and can be.
We're just trusting in him and what he's telling us every day. Really just getting to know him more and more. Like, we're a really close group, so we really like each other. We like him a lot. Obviously listening to him and just taking his technique to heart and really just trying to learn every day and try and get better.
The offensive line has some personalities, led by a personality in Coach Clark. And Chase Evans can tell the daily atmosphere has been a big reason why improvement has been made.
We have so much fun, and I think it's really important, because when you have fun together, you play harder together for each other. So we're a really close group on and off the field. We hang out with each other all the time off the field. I think that's super important. That's something we've really emphasized together. And, I think we have so much fun, and we have a lot of characters in that room for sure.
You'd have to start with Chase Evans. He's a captain. He's a leader. He's a guy that, can lead by example. He leads with his voice. He leads, just how he carries himself, in the locker room. And so I would start there. Jake Green, another returner. Derek Harden, a returner that's a young guy that has a bright future. And then you get a Sam Newman back off an injury. You got Abdu, who's coming off a spring ball injury and rehab, and played a lot of snaps for us. And you got some newcomers like a Noah Fensky, Jacob Coggle, who, again, played a lot of snaps for us, dinged up a little bit last year. There's some experience in the room. There's young guys like CJ Smith, there's Jackson Solis, we got 10, 11 guys that are, battling for those top 5 spots. And then you got a good young group of, the Jimmy Lansings and the Harris Hagens and guys that are developing. And I think that's the biggest thing, is when you want to improve in an offensive line, you got to have competition. And, this is real life. You don't execute, you're going to get your job taken, And so that's the best thing in our room going right now, is they push each other. They're the best friends. They're hang out together, but they're going to want each other's jobs at the end of the day.
Coach Clark may only be in year 2 at Southern Illinois, but he has worked at 2 previous Missouri Valley Football Conference schools. He knows what's ahead for this group.
It's the best conference in the country. It is. It's the consistency you have to have every day, and just the mentality that an offensive lineman has to have, and doing it every day, and just repeating, and just the passion that you have to have, the intensity that you have to have, and the attention to detail, and those are big qualities that you have to have. And when you want a offensive line to produce and execute, it's over and over and over again, and you don't get to dodge any team in this conference. You got to do it every week, and you got to do it every day.
This is your home for Saluki football, SIUSalukis.com.